What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another night on the MashandDrum Whiskey Room. That is right. I'm wearing all my Mets gear right now because the Mets are not only in first place, but we have the man himself, Greg Metze, in his honor, back on the channel. What's up, Greg?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
And he's back.
Heck yeah.
We got him back for another night, guys. My pleasure to welcome him back in. And as you see here, we have some beautiful Old Elk samples we're going to be picking for the Mashin Journey, Whiskey Club. So here's my other partner in crime. There he is. What's up, Scotty Tuhati?
Hello, everybody. Good to see everyone. Mr. Metze, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Been looking forward to it all day.
And our two Patreon guests that are going to be, actually three Patreon guests that are going to be helping us out. We have Mr. Todd Ritter.
Hey,
and we also have Dan and Julie Like.
Cool.
What is up, guys? So for those of you guys, so Todd, Dan, and Julie, if you haven't met Mr. Greg Metze yet, please say hi.
Hi. Hey, good evening.
Enjoyed having you on last night. Great show. Yeah,
we had a lot of fun last night, and tonight will be the equivalent, no doubt.
So for those of you guys that don't know, we have Scott and I have the Mashin Journey Whiskey Club, where we have been fortunate enough to get some great barrel picks for our Patreon communities. So not only have we done some Russells, we just recently released our Rye 3 pick, which was great. That we have a Russells coming out. We have Woodinville. We have two Bullet picks. We have actually two Woodinvilles. We also have a Rebel pick, an Ezra pick. We have an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof pick, Wilderness Trail Rye pick coming too. And we are happy to add to our portfolio tonight two Old Elk picks. One, we're going to be picking a wheated whiskey, which will be the first one we're going to start with tonight. And then once we go through these, we are going to transition to a wheated bourbon. So we're really excited to have Greg kind of talk us through these a little bit. And Dan and Julie, Todd, if you guys have any questions for Greg, if there was anything you wanted to ask him last night and didn't get a chance to, please do. But before we get started, everyone raise your glass. It is Dan Like's birthday. Mr. Dan Like himself. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, buddy.
I'm gonna have to raise some water.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't want to cheat either.
I'm going to cheat.
I cheated a little bit.
You're worth it.
Yeah, Greg Metze is already starting in, which is awesome.
Heck yeah.
All right, so Greg, I had asked you last night. You had mentioned starting with the wheat whiskeys you think would be more beneficial, correct?
Yes. At least with my training, you generally start with the distillates or the mash bills that are lighter in congener profile relative to the others, so that the wheated whiskey is going to be lighter than the wheated bourbon because there's no corn in the mash bill. Corn brings a lot of the robust characteristics to a bourbon that everybody's familiar with, but wheat brings altogether different aspects to the portfolio. So we're going to have a chance to see those tonight.
So for those of you that missed it last night, now this is the 95-5 rye mash bill, except flipped on its head. We have a 95 wheat and a 5 barley in this mash bill. So there's a lot of wheat in here. So eager to see what we pick up here. So Todd, Dan, and Julie, we're going to be working from the lowest proof up. So the first one we want to try is the 111.3. Second one is the 113 even. And then the third one would be the 113.4. So we're just going to go in proof order.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
All right, we all set?
Yeah.
That works.
All right, guys, who's ready to pick some fucking great barrels here? Sorry.
That's okay.
They're all available.
Look at the guy gets a little bit of Mets gear on and he gets all excited.
Hey, man, they swept. They're in first. They have a lot of injuries. I'm enjoying it. Leave me alone.
Okay.
I was tempted, Jason, today to do some. I went through the Old Elk picks we have here at the house, and I was tempted to open one, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to compare, what we're drinking tonight and mess my mind up. I did notice most of the ones I have are were a little higher proof. Most of the ones I have are between one. Actually, all of them are between like 113 and 117.
Wow. Okay.
They're a little. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So Greg, Dan has a few really good picks that he's enjoyed. So I felt like Dan and Julie are like perfect helpers here. And Todd being in Frankfurt, he knows a good weeder when he smells one. So
yeah.
I've had a couple of old elk picks myself.
Oh, nice.
I think tonight should be really kind of interesting, guys. I think because of the mash bills and because of the either low corn content or no corn content, you're likely to see things that maybe you haven't seen before. In many cases, because corn brings the robust characteristics to the table. In many cases, it masks other congeners that are in there. You just can't see them. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some wheat whiskeys in the industry. Woodford released one, but that was kind of like a barely wheater. It was actually a 4-grain. So to have something with 95% wheat is pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even think the Bernheim wheat whiskey is that high. Is it, Greg? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
All right, guys, let's dive in. We're going to start with Barrel 971, 111.3 proof. All right.
Yeah.
Got 600 mLs of Old Elk in front of me. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah. Happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. Good way to...
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Julie, that cake that you got for Dan was freaking epic.
Wasn't that amazing?
That was crazy. Who the hell baked that? Did you get the Cake Boss in Brooklyn? Who made that?
The equivalent in Gainesville, basically.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was good too. It tasted really good.
Yeah, so Greg, Julie had Dan made this bottle of Al Young, the 50th anniversary, about like into a cake. It was because it was his 50th birthday. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, I worked with him for many years in Lawrenceburg before he moved to Four Roses back in the day. He was an amazing person, and he did many great things for the industry. He was top shelf, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. So don't be shy. Call out. What are you getting on the nose?
Man, it's really odd, but for whatever reason, I get like a ginger beer note on this. There's something that's very ginger beer to me. I don't know why, but that's.
Well, there's no wrong answers. I will tell you true. Everybody has a palate, and they're like fingerprints. They're all different. So
definitely like some citrus on that.
So I can't tell you anything on the nose, but I've already tasted it. And I don't know if it's because we were talking about the cake, but I swear it tasted like buttercream icing to me.
No, I
definitely some vanilla.
I got vanilla big on the nose as soon as I brought the glass up to my nose, like heavier than I normally get from a wheat.
Yeah. We got Perry in the house from This Is My Bourbon podcast. He's having some Evan Williams from the early 90s. That's awesome.
Interesting. It's very tangy. There's like a tangy, like it's, Oh, man. Like lemon.
It's the front of the palate and the middle of the palate. The front of the palate is super sweet. The middle, which is weird for not, no corn in it, and then there is citrus on the middle. I do get something funky on the finish though, like almost a bitter.
The citrus note is very sensitive to me on the palate. I'm getting a ton of like orange citrus.
I got the orange too.
Yeah. Like orange marmalade. Very sweet.
I hadn't tried it before, but when Julie said the cake and then you try it, it totally tastes like vanilla cake.
Yeah. Angel's food or devil's food?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, that's citrus.
Sweet white cake.
It is. This is very candy. This is like those sugary coated orange slices that you get.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Am I the only one picking up something on the finish that doesn't match the rest of the palate? It's just me, maybe.
I'm actually surprised at how spicy this is for a 95 wheater.
Very spicy.
Anybody else getting like a good spice kick?
I get the spice at the end.
At the very end, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a spicy carrot cake.
There are some baking spices, I will say. I am picking up a little bit of like a cinnamon. I think I do get the ginger a little bit, Scotty.
I know it was like the first thing that I smelled was like, I don't know, like a little bit of a ginger beer or ginger root or something. And maybe like what Dan is saying, like there's that, slight tangy or bitterness that's there to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe that's what he's picking up a little bit. I can definitely see that on there.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, there's definitely like a little bit of a sour note on the back end of this one. I'm getting what Dan is putting down. I'm picking it up. Todd, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I get a lot of that citrus right in the middle, and then it gets really kind of like tannic and bitterness.
Yeah.
Bitterness on the tail end.
Yeah, it's like the vanilla cake, the citrus, and then right on the back end, it just goes a little bit sour, bitter, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's like a little bit like a baker's chocolate or something where you get that bitterness. There's a little bit of like a chocolatey bitterness that's there. So,
Greg, what are you picking up, man?
Yeah.
Well, I am really not going to comment until we're done because this is really all about you guys and not about me.
Fair enough.
And I want it to be your event, not mine. So, I'll happily chime in at the end, but I want it to be your evaluation, not mine.
I do want to say if anyone, we had a lot of people in the chat last night, a lot of people watching, and if, Dan, Julie, Todd, if you guys have any questions for Greg since you're in the stream, please feel free. He's here to, if you have any sort of knowledge that you want to get from him, please do. Anyone in the chat as well, I could try to ask Greg some questions while he's here. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I did have one, Greg. I might have missed last night. I really enjoyed, by the way, when you were talking about the price difference between Julie and I had this conversation before the show, oddly enough, yesterday, and you were explaining the price difference between the corn and I realized the rye difference, but I realized how expensive wheat was. So we were wondering, like, I know you were talking about not letting costs come in, to play when you're doing your mash, but the 95.5 we have here on your bourbons, what normal on a wheated bourbon, how much wheat typically do you use?
Well, again, Old Elk, we took both the wheat whiskey and the wheat bourbon to the extreme. So we are way different than everybody else that's got a wheated bourbon or a wheated whiskey on the shelf. Again, our wheated bourbon is 51% corn, 45% wheat, and 4% malt. So it's maxed out. And again, the wheat whiskey that we're tasting now is, for all intentional purposes, maxed out. So I call them the real McCoys when you're talking about a wheat whiskey category and a wheated bourbon category.
Okay.
All right, guys, we want to get to number 932.
Well,
sounds good.
yeah, but I want to ask you something on that one. Would y'all have guessed that it was the proof, that it was 111 proof? If you didn't know, would you have guessed that?
Around
that?
Probably not that high. The one thing sometimes
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes that like spice and proof like sometimes gets like mingled together. So when things become spicy, it sometimes translates over to proof. But I get it. Yeah, that was the one thing when you drink it, you don't think about getting blown away by the proof at all on that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Julie, you thought it was lower than a
I
drink?
would. If I didn't know it was 111, I would have guessed it to be lower.
Yeah, me too. It's especially at like the first couple sips, it starts drinking really light, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I like that. Yeah,
That
I like
happens
that.
sometimes with the wheat though too, because you're making bourbon, you get a combination of the alcohol and the spice, and you're used to something tasting a little hotter than these do.
On the nose, I would have guessed it though to be that.
Yeah.
I thought it was hotter on the nose.
All right.
Sure.
All right, let's go to barrel 932. Now this is a 6-year-old wheat whiskey, so we have some good ages on these.
I think they all 6 here. Yeah, it looks like they're all 6.
Minimum, they're actually approaching 7.
Yeah, the
Oh.
only thing that wasn't 6 is the middle bourbon is 5. All the rest of
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the weededs is 5.
Yeah, one of these is 5. It says.
Oh,
one. Okay, 1 wheat and 1 bourbon.
These all say 6.
yeah.
That's one of the weeded bourbons he's talking about. Yeah,
Oh,
one of those is 5.
Okay.
So we got Rob Harris. He's in Fort Collins, and he's drinking Old Elk Weeded Velvet Viscosity tonight. Welcome in.
Nice.
Fort Collins is where Old Elk is headquartered, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah, sure enough.
Donald Ranch, Jason the Messenger make me want to shout Daryl.
Daryl.
Those are my favorite. Like Daryl Strawberry.
Strawberry. Yeah.
Daryl Strawberry, yeah, is my favorite player of all time. All right, so the nose on this one to me is a little bit more interesting.
Little more citrus on this one. A little more like floral too, kind of. A little more floral, I think.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's almost a perfuminess to it.
Yeah, I would agree. Still a little bit more of that kind of vanilla cake batter too. That was kind of on the other one.
Yeah, a lot of that vanilla is definitely there still.
Nose.
Yeah.
The lighter nose.
Yeah, I would argue that the nose on number 2 is even sweeter than number 1. When you go back to number 1, it doesn't jump out the sweetness as much. Number 2 is definitely a lot sweeter here.
I think it's maybe the absence of citrus in the nose. I don't get it on this like I did the other.
Exactly. I'm not getting the citrus either. I'm getting more perfume, more floral. I'm getting more for lack of a better term, the weediness in this.
Yeah,
one.
like there's a little bit more of a doughy a little more donut or doughy aspect to this one too.
There is some sugar to it though, maybe like a fried donut a little bit.
Yeah.
Golf Whiskey says, Jason, thanks to you, your and Greg's, okay, mostly Greg, recommendation. I think that's some Old Elk in my local store. Weeded bourbon. Oh, he got the Sour Mash Reserve batch too in the single barrel. Damn, Golf Whiskey went all in.
Yeah, I just as of yesterday received 90 more samples for the batch 3, 4, and 5. So I evaluated 36 samples this morning.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Got your work cut out for you.
Oh yeah.
Wow, two on the palate. I get like this really nice white chocolate note on it.
I'm so like amazed by the spice on these weeders like this.
Especially this one.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
way spicier and it's way warmer.
Yep,
And
it does. This one drinks, I think, a little hotter than you would think, or right at that 113 proof.
absolutely,
I think it tastes
this
at
matches.
its proof, but I can't tell what I'm tasting, but I like it.
I'm getting a little citrus and caramel myself.
Yeah, get more citrus, more definitely more of the caramel. I'm surprised. Usually with weeders, you tend to pick up some more like orchard fruit. But for me, it's coming across as more citrus, and it's got like a tang to it, some spice.
Yeah, some grapefruit maybe.
Yeah, really enjoying this one.
It's a lot of vanilla though too. There's a lot on this thing.
The finish is way, in my opinion, substantially better on this one.
Yeah, I would agree.
absolutely.
There's not like that bitterness. Maybe what Dan and I were getting before was a little bit more of that like just the oak tannin or something that was coming out in it. Maybe that was a little bit of the bitterness or something, but this one definitely doesn't have that as much of that.
Man, this one is dangerous. This is like you could just keep sipping the hell out of this thing, and what's nice, it's got that nice little white chocolate spice I'm getting on the very back end. That's absolutely delicious.
It's like a
decision just on a finish, but it is what you remember about the pour, And this one hangs like sticky almost under it. It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very like Christmassy. It's very like spicy and like you kind of think of like Christmas or something, but that's nice. That's really nice.
Are you sure I didn't sneak any rye in here, Greg?
Not on this one.
That one's hot. Like
So I guess here's a good question for Greg. So like with what we're tasting right now, you wouldn't expect all of that spice to be there. So what is it that's maybe driving the spiciness that we're getting in a weeded whiskey like this?
Well, as I said earlier, this is really my first venture into extremely high wheated bourbon, extremely high wheat content wheat bourbon, and extremely high wheaty content wheat whiskey. So, as I said earlier, you're likely to see things that you haven't seen before, because you don't have the corn content in there to sort of mask some of those attributes. So. For me, I mentioned it last night that, we had planned to bring these to market at 4 years old, but when I looked at them, they just weren't ready. And it's because they didn't have a lot of the robust characters that most people are used to from a bourbon. So they needed really more barrel note to carry it. And the wheated bourbon, I looked at that at 5 years. Well, I looked at both of them actually at 5 years old. And the wheated bourbon was ready at 5, but the wheat whiskey still wasn't ready. So
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it truly has been a learning experience for myself as well.
Yeah.
Again, I brought it up last night. Most of my training relative to evaluating distillates was really primarily white distillates, and we would evaluate them to make sure that they were worthy to go into a barrel from a quality perspective. So, when we distilled these mash bills, the quality of the white distillate was certainly there. But I had really, I really wasn't sure what to expect 5 and 6 years down the road. So, for me, I'm learning along with you folks, actually.
Yeah. It almost seems like maybe the more delicate the grain, the longer it takes to kind of develop in the barrel. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know, but
no, I think there's a lot to be said for that. And again, I think some of it is that other grains in the mash bill have a tendency to overwhelm some of the characteristics. I mean, they've always been there, but they get overwhelmed or they get pushed to the background. And in this case, there's nothing to mask them, so they're actually coming to the foreground. So, some of the characteristics like you're seeing, the spice and the citrus and so forth, those are probably things that I wouldn't have thought would have came to the table with a wheat, but they certainly do.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, I think the more I sip on 2. I mean, two's really nice as it's kind of opening up a little bit more here. It's really nice. Todd,
guys, just for a quick second, go back to the nose on 1 and smell how cakey it got.
Oh yeah,
it got really vanilla.
Yeah, that's one thing so far. There's been a lot of that kind of cake on these things.
So Greg, I have a great question from Justin Jenkins.
Sure.
What do you think was the worst experiment you ever had in distilling?
Probably we did some blue corn bourbon, and we did some. Remember, we did another bourbon out of a different type of corn, and they failed miserably. Fortunately, they were only a couple 100-barrel experiments. So.
Oh, okay, so not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have Balcones using they're using that blue corn down in Texas.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, unfortunately. At least with with the percentages and whatnot that we tried. But I mean, things don't always go right. That's a certainty, and you don't know until you try it. So you have to experiment.
Yeah,
you have to try things different.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the third sample, barrel 953, 113.4 proof. And is it my imagination, or is this the darkest out of all of them?
No, I think you're right. I think it's kind of gone in that order. The more I look at it, I would agree. It does seem to be slightly darker. So,
yeah, looks a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's an optical illusion.
Oh wow! I think it's really interesting how barrels that in some cases come from the same lot, and in some cases come from similar locations in the warehouse. How they differ. Every single barrel is again a fingerprint of its own.
I'm loving the nose on this. I don't know about you guys, but I get like a chocolate covered strawberry on the nose on this. So like that fruit flavor that I would normally get from a weeder, I'm finally getting it on this one right here. Again, a lot of vanilla, a lot of sweetness.
I definitely get the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit more kind of like developed, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot more dark fruit on this.
Oh, what are you getting, Todd?
On the nose?
Yeah, on the nose. What are you getting on number 3 here?
Yeah, I'm getting some light fruits.
Mm-hmm. Getting more of that fruit. So I'm getting a little bit more of that cakey vanilla. Getting like a slight milk chocolate too, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I was just gonna say a little bit of a chocolate note there on that too.
What about Dan and Jules? What do you guys got?
I get the fruit. I don't get like a high proof nose on it.
No, not at all. I'd agree. And this is the highest proof, and it doesn't smell like it.
I'm not really getting the chocolate note you're talking about. I definitely get the fruit. Maybe I get a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they're progressively getting better. I'm just progressively getting more into drinking and
That's just good. Yeah, I think the answer to that is yes and yes, probably.
Yeah. All right, guys. Cheers. Let's try this one.
All right. Whoa, way more oak.
Yeah, this is my jam right here out of the so far. Well, at least on my first sip. This tastes, oddly enough, if you mentioned the oak, I was about to say this actually tastes closer to a bourbon. I know it has no corn in it, but like it has some profiles that have character, that has a little bit of the bourbon characteristics to it. Oddly enough, maybe it is that oak.
Yeah, and it's definitely got more oak, but this has I think Dan, I'm getting like that richer caramel note.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's way more complex, way more complex and developed. This one almost seems to be like there's a little bit more of a mouthfeel. The finish is definitely much longer on this one.
Yeah, it's velvety. I don't think it carries the spice and the finish that number 2 has, but it's got like it's still sticking around, but it's just a little sweeter.
It is a little sweeter,
On that.
and I think it's a little longer myself. A little longer finish.
I thought the finish ended.
Yeah, it's funny. Like to me, like one is super sweet, like the cake, like she mentioned, and then two, you got a little bit of spice in there, which is odd, almost like a rye spice, even though there's none in there, which is good. But this is like the blend between the two. It's sweeter than 2, but it has a real full notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have sweet and spice, and then we have everything nice.
Yeah.
It tastes a little licoricey to me. Just a little tiny bit.
You getting a little black licorice, Julie?
A little tiny bit.
Are you a black licorice hater like I am?
Yeah, it's not my thing. But just a little tiny bit.
Okay.
Kind of tainted.
Yeah, this one drinks way more like a bourbon than it does a wheat whiskey.
Oh, I love the fruit and the caramel and that little bit of chocolate complexity and the spice and the finish. This is
there is no comparison on the finish of these. Like this one tastes as strong right now as when I first poured it in my mouth.
This is also the most consistent. So number 1 and number 2, when we talk about consistency, you want that same experience with every sip. 1 and 2 we're getting easier to sip. Number 3 is just kind of staying. Like you can sip on this slowly and just enjoy it, especially for a wheat whiskey.
Yeah, a little more chocolate comes out in this.
Yeah.
Definitely some more oak.
Longer than 2.
Still a little citrus on that too.
Hey, Tim Evans is here. What's up, Tim?
This one kind of like
Richie Z, Cool Running, Young Pei Chang's watching, Sugar Kitty, Wade Ward. He has a question for you. Please ask Greg whether his experiments use a production still or a smaller experimental setup.
everything I did was to scale. So I every trial that I ran was all at production capacity.
Okay. Donald Rand says, will Old Elk ever put out a single malt since they have all of that malt going into their blended straight bourbon? I think Greg could create a fascinating single malt.
Well, if I give you that answer, I'd have to kill you. I can only say stay tuned. We're not done.
Oh, man. A little bit of a teaser. Hey, Bourbon Van is in the house. What's up, Bourbon Van? Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have to go through these, or do we have a definitive winner here, guys?
Yeah, three pretty easy on this one, it seems like.
Julie's too.
Julie's not liking the licorice.
That licorice just kind of stuck with me. So
Julie's biting her tongue.
Ever since you put it in my head, I'm getting a little licorice.
That's what happens.
I'm planting the seed. I'm trying to bring you over to my side.
So Julie, what would you be leaning towards? One or two? Two? Okay.
I'm three. I think I saw in chat posted it was weird they were getting spice notes out of these. And I tell you, it's not spice like a rye spice. It's more like a little bit of a, I don't say allspice, but like a grainier spice. And certainly two compared to one, right? You wouldn't compare to like a bourbon or rye. You wouldn't say this is spicy, but certainly compared to one, which was a little flatter.
Yeah. One is definitely on the flatter side and drinks like you would expect a wheater to drink. Yeah, two. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain. Two isn't sound like the rye spice. It's more of a maybe it's like a barrel tannin type. There's a prickliness to it that hangs out.
I think it's definitely more of the barrel influence on this one for sure.
Yeah, and then three is kind of a mix of everything. But, I just went back to three and actually got a little bit of that, like a peachy note.
I'm going to go pour some Good and Plenty's in Julie's next glass.
So Julie, when I grew up, my grandmother, my grandfather, every time company came over, when we used to have company come over, we would have the Sambuca would come out immediately with the coffee. And I would smell that stuff from across the room, and I would be like, I cannot handle that stuff.
No, I don't like it at all. Not my thing.
I can see that. I mean, I think it seems like three is a little bit more of the, I guess, in terms of 1 and 2, a little bit more of the off profile. 2 maybe is the.
I like three. Three's good. I just kind of get a little tang of that at the end. So I don't like black licorice at all, but I could live with the little.
I'm gonna put a couple drops of water.
But I like two better.
I'm gonna put a couple drops of water in each just to see what it does. And go through it real quick again.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Did everyone else? Was everyone else on three? Was three the best for everyone else's so far?
I mean, right now for me, three is the leader in the wheelhouse.
I just like a drink, especially if you're doing a barrel pick, something that like that's powerful,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, three definitely seems to be the most like kind of memorable, like the most, I don't know, most maybe mouth coating.
I don't know. Two's nose with a couple drops of water just got epic. It's really sweet.
When you go back smelling 2 or 1 compared to 3, they both smell like candy.
Yeah, they both smell like candy.
I guess that's the thing that we probably need to figure out is like how far away from like what someone's expectation for a wheated whiskey do we want it? Because I mean 3 is getting, I think, pretty far away from I think what a lot of people would expect. 2 is probably a little bit more what people would be maybe expecting.
Scott, am I bringing you over to the dark side?
I guess I'm just trying to think.
You go back and drink 2, it is a close second, but this.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I guess really like for me, like big and bold and complex is always something I look for in a whiskey, period. So I always start there. But, you know, so I mean, I guess it's just kind of.
I have to give in to her all the time. You don't have to tonight.
It's an egg because it's your birthday, but.
Well, it's probably my wife, Julie. You're probably like somehow convincing her, and she's like transporting herself over to me, and now you're influencing me. So,
man, it's
you're starting to work yourself into that marketing corner.
I don't. I mean, I have a hard time getting off of number 3. I mean, just in terms of how it is overall.
I mean, so I think I might like the flavor in the nose a tad bit more on 2, just because of the sweet candy. But the finish on 3 is what's winning me over.
Yeah. And Scott had a good point of what people are looking for. To me, like I like my barrel picks. That when I go buy barrel pick, I always hope it's a little bit off profile. Otherwise, I would just buy the bottle off the shelf. You know, I want when I look for a pick, I want it to be something slightly different. But not everybody's that way.
Yeah, I went back to 2, and yeah, I think 3 just got a little longer finish to me.
No.
Yeah, three definitely has the finish beat. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna hang with 3.
I wrote down 2 comments. I won't tell you what barrel it is, but I wrote down well balanced with good integrity.
Oh.
Well balanced with good integrity. Where you just
I'm gonna choose which one it is.
Yeah, that's just pretty much describing me, Greg. I appreciate that.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
953. I thought 953 had was well balanced, and I thought it had really good integrity.
That was number 3.
That's the one y'all
number
picked.
3.
That's the one. All right, guys. So with that one, I think we're gonna lock that one down. We're gonna do 953 is gonna be our wheat whiskey pick. We're looking at 113.4 proof. It says 6 years old, but as we heard from Mr. Metze,
I can look it up after we finish and send it to you tomorrow. But they're approaching 6 and 7 year old at this point.
All right, almost 7 years.
I can even give you the location of the warehouse, so I'd be happy to do that for you.
My goodness, the finish on this third one is still going.
Yeah, it's really nice. It really is.
You know what, Julie? If you add a couple drops of water to 3, it minimizes the licorice a little bit.
It's okay. I'm a good loser.
Now we're getting some psychology going, man. This is awesome.
Psychology.
I promise you 3 is something she would drink. If
I promise you.
It has to be a really strong liquor.
Yeah, it's not.
To drink it.
I'll finish
Yeah. I mean, this is good. I mean, number 3 was easily
very good.
Yeah, number 3 was easily the standout. I mean, it's the most richest, complex, and has easily the longest finish. So, all right, very excited.
It was that 0.4 proof that took it over the top.
It might be. It might be the 0.4 proof. All right, so here it is, guys. Winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, well, okay, is that what we're doing?
There's our pick, the Old Elk. That's going to be our wheat whiskey. All right, guys, let's reset. We're going to go into the wheated bourbon now, which I'm really freaking excited for. So let's get those poured.
Okay, what order are you going into, or the same proof?
Let's just go in proof order. So here are the barrel numbers. The first one we'll taste is 1219. The second one will be 1234. Kind of ironic. 1237. Again, all in proof, all in lower.
Well, we got a little problem because I got 2 of the same bottles on my bourbons.
Oh, you do?
So I won't be able to do one of those.
Which one do you
We got 2 bottles of 1219.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
And then what's the other one you have?
1239 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so
one's 1, 2, 3, 7. Is the one you have that's 1, 2, 3, 4 112.9 proof?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So just let us know when you're drinking 1219. Is that the first one or the second one?
It'll
One,
be the
two.
last one, the one you don't have.
Yeah, 1,
Thank
2. Yeah, the one you don't have will be the last one.
Okay. We
Yeah.
can certainly decide between these two, and we'll drink along with you when you're doing the other one.
Who's in charge of shipping in Old Elk, man?
I have to check with Alex on that one.
Sounds like Alex might have had too much of barrel number 3 of the wheat whiskey. All right. So let's go to.
Oh, I guess it doesn't mean
No, we can do the first and the second in the same order, and then
Yeah.
we just can't do the third one. It won't be number 3 for us on this.
Won't be number 3.
We don't have- We'll take your word for it.
All right. All right. So first one we're gonna go to is barrel 1219, 108.6 proof.
Yep.
All right.
Oh man.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah. Very.
I don't want to read a chat here, but Sugar Kitty just asked Julie to blink a couple of times if she's being held against her will.
Oh shit. Hey, we got the shelf turds in the house. What is up, David and Kira? Love you guys.
She's held a lot, Sugar Kitty, but never against her will.
We also have ADHD whiskey. The world's top whiskey taster is here as well. What is up, Maddie? Love you, man.
How's it going, buddy?
Maddie.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 7.
JG's got their hashtag free Julie. Like,
No.
man, that is.
Hashtag save Julie.
No,
You gotta get like the remember Ferris Bueller? We have to save Ferris on the water tower. That's gonna be safe
Yeah.
in there.
I can tell you, those of you who know Julie know there's no place she'd rather be than sitting at the bar she's sitting at right now. Like,
That's true.
whether it's not or not, it's debatable, but the place she's at is not the.
Hey, we got Cameron from Drums and Drams. Man, everyone's hanging out tonight. What is up, guys?
Cool.
But it smells good.
Hey, Greg, the sour mash. We just picked up that bottle like when it came a month or so ago. We haven't opened it yet. What's the story on that one again?
Well, actually, that's the same Old Elk blended bourbon mash bill that I crafted when I was still in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. But after I crafted it, then Old Elk actually took the same mash bill to 2 different distilleries in very limited production runs. So they went to a distillery in Colorado, and they went to another distillery in New York. So the sour mash that you picked up was the same Old Elk mash bill that I crafted, but it was produced at a distillery in New York rather than in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So he had a different yeast strain, and he had a different method of souring the mash. I mean, all the products that I produced are all sour mash products, but his methods were different than what I used. And then, of course, you have all the geographical and climate differences that change or affect the congener profile as well. So it's kind of a neat experiment where you get to see the same mash bill produced in different locations and how it alters the congener profile. So I think you'll be pleased if you compare that sour mash from New York against what I produced in Lawrenceburg. They are different.
We may drink that.
What is the mash bill on what we're tasting right now again?
This is 51% corn, 45% wheat, and 4% malt.
Okay, thank you.
45% wheat and a wheater.
Yeah. It's
That is.
It's a real McCoy.
Man, number one already smells really good.
So, Greg, I mean, you've had a distinguished career. I mean, what drew you to Old Elk?
Well, it was early on, it was my first opportunity to craft custom mash bills. So it was really intriguing. But as I got to know the company over the course of 3 or 4 years, it became clear to me that one, they were going to be on the ground floor of something really special. But two, as I got to know the people in the company, it was all about craftsmanship, integrity, values, and quality. And I don't know. And thirdly, I guess it was an opportunity for me to really completely round out my career. Really, I joined them in 2016. And joined them full time in March of 2017. And really, since then, a majority of the work that I've done is actually being involved in sales, marketing, and distribution, which was never anything that I was ever part of in the 38 years that I was at Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So I've in the last 4 years have gotten to see an entirely new aspect of the business. And it really, for me, it just completes the circle. I was very fortunate in my career through Seagram's to have learned all aspects of mashing and distillation, not just bourbon. I did neutral grain spirits, we did gin, we did batch light whiskey, and then we did certainly a variety of rye whiskey and bourbon and corn whiskey mash bills. So I was very fortunate that I had learned all that, not just one aspect of the industry, but all of them. And then the ability to join up with Old Elk and be part of sales, marketing, and distribution just really completed the circle. So, and again, it's, we are building a brand from scratch and from the ground up. And that's something else that I've never been part of. I mean, most of my career was in the commercial spectrum. We had, I grew up with all the big players, Seagram's, Pernod Ricard. We became LDI. That's when we started getting into that sort of the craft arena. And then MGP, that went back to the commercial grade status. So yeah, it was just a great opportunity to be part of something really special and to join up with a really special group of people that are smart, young, and passionate about the business. I mean, I'm the old goat in the crowd. Our mean age in the company is probably 24 to 42. So I'm definitely the outlier on that one.
So we got a couple of other people coming, some other legends. Chicharolino, I like to refer to as Chicharon. Chicharon is in the house.
Okay. Scott, how is this for?
Richie Z, of course, Big League Bourbon, another great channel, guys. I hope you're loving the attire Big League Bourbon. I'm ready put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Bourbon Beginnings is here. Let's see here. Yeah, Cool Running. Everyone hanging out tonight. This is awesome. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. All right, number one is weird.
Yeah, it is. It tastes like scotch. There's a total smoke and like there's a smokiness like there's no tomorrow on this thing.
Yeah. Anyone else getting campfire on this one?
Yeah.
First thing, now Julie hates scotch but loves this pour, loves it. But the first thing I said over there, I was surprised by the smoke.
I got no scotch.
Because I don't get the scotchness other than the smoke, right? I mean, it doesn't taste like Scotch Local, but it is very smoky. But it's delicious. Would you write down for you?
I said that it tastes like a Hershey's Special Dark Bar to me because it is not overly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like overly sweet stuff. So it tastes like a Hershey's Special Dark Bar with champagne bubbles in it to me.
Yeah,
it's got like little bubbles to it.
I totally agree, Julie. It's like the smoke. Like you could take a Hershey bar, like a dark chocolate bar with Pop Rocks in it, and then smoke it. That's what that tastes like.
I am not mad that we got 2 bottles of that in our kit.
Yeah, it's the fact that the smoke. Like she said, she didn't like anything sweet, which is why we get along so well. But because I'm not real sweet, but this it's odd how much smoke is on.
This is the ham hock of weeded bourbons right here.
This is Scott. This is your jam.
This is
It's the ham. It's the ham jam.
That's the that's a smoked meter right there. That's not a smoked. That's not a weeder. That's a smoked. That's a smoked meter.
Yeah, I don't get the. I mean, Scott, you don't really drink Scotch a lot. It doesn't really taste like Scotch. It does.
Scotch.
Maybe it's I don't know what it is. There's
it's the smoke. It's
smoky bourbon.
But this isn't peat. This isn't peat smoke. This is like barrel char smoke. I'm getting.
Yeah, it's like barbecue, like you freshly smoked barbecue. Like that.
Yeah, my goodness gracious. Got a little chocolate marshmallow on there. That's really good.
Yeah, put it down. It's
really... I'm fixing to grab that bottle. What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I get that light smokiness. I'm getting a little citrus on the tail end, a little.
Yeah.
A little chocolate.
Every bottle's gonna be shipped in fishnets.
Yeah, it's coming. That's
wow. One is different, but it's like awesome different.
It is. I agree. That's so good.
Yeah, you lost me at smoke.
Yeah. As soon as Scott tasted it, he's like, "Oh shit."
Smoke and whiskey for me is not my jam at all. I don't want that.
You don't smoke cigars, Scott?
I do. I love cigars, but I don't correlate that kind of smoke with cigar smoke for me. Like that's a smoke like for me it's just way different. I mean, I love cigars and whiskey pairings, but like smoke in my whiskey is not what I like. But hey, each their own.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mood to Move. Barrel char hits me completely different than peat smoke, and this is like a nice sweet smoke. It's not that peaty like medicinal smoke at all. This is more sweet smoke. Jake Miller is asking, Dan, tell us about the El Cartel wrestling.
That was all made up by this guy. I was a wrestler, but not that kind of wrestler.
I don't think they really thought you were.
He just asked about the El Cartel. I was a wrestler, and then when I got out of school, I did catch wrestling, submission wrestling, and because you couldn't wrestle, and then I did jiu-jitsu for 18 years or so, and then Krav Maga for 4 or 5. But yeah, I was a wrestler. I still consider myself a wrestler, and that's my thing. I competed up until I was 41.
Wow,
cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
I wrestled in high school. I did. I'm actually a first degree. I'm a first degree black belt. I did take martial arts, but I didn't do Krav Maga. So
it's not fair to say I competed up until I was 41. I competed until I was like 30. Then I stopped, and then I did it again when I was 41. It's not the same thing.
Then he got hurt, severely hurt.
Oh, really?
Well, he got hurt, and then he got a severe infection.
Yeah,
a real weird infection. He had to have surgery.
Competing, I tore my ACL and meniscus, which is not bad. But when I went in the hospital, it's an outpatient and it's supposed to be fine. But I got blood clots, and they went through my lungs. And then when they put me back in for that, I got an infection from the IV bag that like a month ate through my leg. It was like all the complications you can get from a surgery. So it was not.
Oh Jesus, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Holy.
How's your knee now?
It's fine. I got looks like I got a bullet hole in it from where the bacteria ate through it, but the knee's it's fine. I mean, I was fine. Right after that.
Yeah, Dan's still dunking basketballs. He's good. All right, so Donald Ranch just keeps pushing the envelope here. First, he wants a single malt from Old Elk. Now he wants a possibility of an Old Elk peated cask finish.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I'm really liking number 1. There's something about it that's like polarizing me. All right, let's go to number 2. So this is barrel 1, 2, 3, 4. See how this one is.
Yes.
112 proof.
Yep, 112.9. Right on the dot.
This is the young one of the group too. This is a 5-year.
Yeah, this is the young one.
Hang on, yours is 112 on the nose.
Yeah,
sometimes 5 years. So, yeah, mine says 112 on the nose also.
All right, so mine's different then. Mine's 112.9, and mine says 6 years.
But you have barrel number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, sir.
Well, we all have the same barrel number, so someone must have wrote something different.
Yeah, maybe they just wrote something different. But you have the same barrel number.
We all have the same barrel.
Yeah.
We'll see if that
saying
bottle that glass tastes different.
I'll go afterwards.
All right. Well, there's already less smokiness on this one. That's for sure. Oh, a little bit of like almost like, this is weird, but there's like a little bit of like a mintiness or something to that. Something that's bright with that.
Oh yeah, you're right, Scotty. There is like a spearmint with something bright on it, on the nose at least.
All right, now we're talking. We're getting away from number one funk.
Right, Scott, I'll send you the rest of the number 3 wheat whiskey. You send me your bottle of bourbon.
You got it.
We're gonna send Julie all of our number ones so she can make a bottle of her own.
You got it. You can have all of my number one. That's for sure. Oh man, yeah. Number 2 is nice. A little bit of a chocolate note on mine.
Yep.
Yeah, I can get the chocolate on.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh.
There's some berries on that.
Yeah, so this is more of a really good classic Old Elk wheated bourbon. I'm getting a little bit of the fruity pebbles, getting some of the sugar, the fruit, a little chocolate. Yeah, that's nice.
Donald.
I mentioned peated cask, and you're just like, oh God, no.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh God. Oh God, no. Oh God.
Yeah. That was like a bad O face.
Oh, no, I got the, what is a mash and journey pick, so the smoke's out, but this one, I don't know, y'all drink it yet? Or are you still nosing?
No, go for it, man. Man, you can rattle it off. Go for it, man.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I know Scott's gonna feel differently, but that really, really bitter to me. Like
Yeah,
really, really
sour.
bitter. Real sour to me.
I don't taste a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah, I wonder if I got something different. Maybe mine is different. I mean, I got a different proof. It shows different age on it and everything.
I got to tell you, you go back to 1, it's turning into pure milk chocolate.
Oh, wow.
The second one tastes kind of flat to me. Does it taste flat to you? Maybe it's just
No,
because
it
one is so amazing.
Really sour or bitter.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, sour
like a
and
lot.
kind of flat.
Like
I don't know if I'm getting the bitter, but I am getting, it's not as punchy as number 1, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Todd, where are you at with this one?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, compared to 1, I think 1's it's got a better bang for its buck.
Yeah.
2's just kind of short-lived.
Oh man.
you try it again though. Maybe it's just first sip.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 seems to be the mystery barrel right now.
Man, I don't know. Unless I've got something different, like my number 2 is pretty damn good.
2's got the finish is over really quick for me this time.
Yeah, 2's not for my barrel 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just Greg, can you confirm what your stats are on barrel 1, 2, 3, 4 that you have?
Yeah, I'm showing. Let's see here. They're showing the age at 5 years old.
Okay.
That could be a misnomer. We guarantee a minimum of 5. And I was just getting ready to look up the inventory because I think actually those products are, and if they're not harvested yet, and they're pushing 6 years old.
Okay.
So, but the proof is 112.9 on the sample I have.
Yeah, and that's what I got.
But my samples will differ a little bit from the samples that you get because I get my samples from MGP and I evaluate all the barrels before we select them for a single barrel program. And the samples that you get are are taken after they take delivery of the barrels out in Fort Collins. So there'll be a little bit of a shift in proof.
Okay.
Because they're two different sample sets. So
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Mine won't necessarily match up with what you have on a proof basis. And again, on the age, we guarantee a minimum of 5, but you know, if the barrel isn't taken right away, or depending on when the barrel's taken, and again, I'm just getting ready.
I'm actually picking up a little bit of the youth actually on 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not as, I don't know. There's something about it. I think it is a little bit of a bitterness. I'm still loving number 1 over number 2.
Yeah, I just went back to 1. I'm getting a lot of chocolate now.
Yeah, number 1 has become a pure chocolate bomb.
Yep.
Are you still getting smoke on it, Scott, or can you block that out of your mind for a second?
Yeah, number 1, I'm not even going to go back to it at all. It's
Scott, smell it, man. Scotty, smell it.
No, that's a hard. It's a hard pass for me, but I get it. Like, you know, it's just not for me. When I get that smoke, like that campfire, it's just not. I mean,
I'm not even really getting campfire.
You have a bad experience as a Boy Scout
What if
when
you
you're
put some
younger?
no, I didn't. It's just there's something about that, like that heavy, like smoke. I don't mind oak. Like I don't even mind if it's dry or like a really nice oaky bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get that, like that campfire smoke, like it's just been hit with like you're trying to make a smoked old fashioned or something. Like that is just that's not my thing. But you know, hey, whatever, you know. Like I think I've got like my number 2, I think is different than what you guys have. Because
What did yours taste like?
good.
You're going to be tasting this like
I'm trying to break it down. I'm just trying to break it down like you, because you're like, I don't know if I smell or taste it, but I know what I like. And I'm like, it's
good.
I can relate to what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah.
You know?
I like 2 better on the second and third sip than I did on the first.
Yeah.
All right, well, you have number 2. Pour some in there.
You drink them?
Like I totally get where number 1 has way more flavors and all of that. I can definitely see that for what you guys are trying to describe over number 2.
So the wheated bourbon barrels are at least 5.6 years old at this point, and likely to be 6.1. I'd have to look up what barrel location these particular barrels came from, but we're well over 5 years old at this point already.
See, like I wonder, like if on mine, if maybe there's a chance I have the one that's slightly older than maybe what they have. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but.
So I want to say hi to my cousins Kelly and Rachel who are watching. Hi guys, miss you, love you. Hey, Maureen Franchi's here. The fancy Franchi is in the house. How you doing? Yeah. Ham hock's inherently scared of being smoked by fire.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to number 1, 2, 3, 7. I know Dan and Julie don't have that one, but they have 2 bottles of number 1, which Julie's happy about.
Yes, I am.
All right.
It's just rubbing on me.
Todd, do you have 1, 2, 3, 7? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my kids are being a little loud. I gotta play with the mute button some.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and they're also night owls.
Yeah, tasting note, good.
Yes.
There's my cousin Kelly. Love you too, Kelly. Oh, we lost Scott. Scott, the smoke killed Scott.
Yeah, I guess you can now.
Oh, wait, he's back. Hold on. What happened, Scott? Did you try number 1 and die again?
I did. The smoke was killing my internet.
I was going to say, Scott, I didn't leave just because y'all picked number 3 on the wheat whiskey.
It was your second favorite. It was your second favorite. He won't even drink number 1.
Julie's giving you the voodoo. She's like,
I'm like with this pick, I'm completely defaulting to you guys on this one.
Well, number 2's not bad. I mean, it's not terrible.
That's what you can put the bat on the back of your sticker. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Julie said it's not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Todd, are you on 1, 2, 3, 7?
I am, yes.
1, 2, 3, 7 is similar to 2 for me. What about you?
Yes.
I think there's a little bit more sweetness there, but not much.
Yeah, three a little more spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Way more like all spice on there.
So this barrel is 6.1 years old right now.
6.1, 1, 2, 3, 7 is 6.1.
Yes.
Greg, how old is the first bout one we did? 1219. Can you tell us what the age on that is?
I don't have the barrel location on that particular one. I can look it up for you after the fact, but I don't have that readily available.
All right, yeah, you can do it after the fact. No big deal. I thought you were looking at spreadsheets right now, so I was just asking.
Yeah, my bottle doesn't have the barrel location on it, which I can equate to the age based on where it was stored.
So three to me is actually coming off softer than 2. The 1, 2, 3, 7. It's not as. I think 2 has a little bit more robust flavors than 3 does. What do you think, Todd?
See, I kind of like 3 more than 2. I'm getting a lot of the similarities, but the finish seems a little longer on 3 than it does 2.
It does have a little bit more spice, I would say. I agree with Scott. Scott, it's a little spicier for you, the third one?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more allspice, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, the finish is a little bit longer than 2 as well.
JG says, love the Yankee shirt. Dude, don't mess with me. Let me throw this up here again real quick, guys. To get access to these exclusive picks, join the Master Journey Whiskey Club. If you're a patron of either me or Scott, either the Master Drum or my Bourbon Journey, you will have access to these picks. So,
good stuff coming.
Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff coming. Our next pick releasing is going to be our 4-gate 8-year MGP cast strength rye that's toasted, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
Could
pricey.
Be coming any day.
It's pricey, but it's ridiculous. I'm just saying. I don't know. For me, and I'm sorry, Scott, I love number 1.
So, we're whispering over here, and I just told Julie, I was like, I am in love with this number 1.
I love. So
we know how I feel.
I know the smoke. I know there is a smokiness to it, but I am getting more and more chocolate as I get to it, and it's like a smoked chocolate bar. It's so damn different and delicious. 2 and 3 are good. There's nothing standing out to me though about it like number 1 is.
Yeah, I can see how number 1 stands out for sure. Yeah. I'm leaving this up to you guys. You guys are the professionals.
Oh, but there's people like you. If somebody doesn't like, it definitely has that. I mean, we all, or at least 3 of the 4 of us, know the right away got the smoke. So if somebody, I mean, I'm sure you're not the only person out there who doesn't like that in their whiskey. There might be one other of you around. But really, I mean, there's probably other people who don't like it, and if you don't, you're not gonna. I mean, you probably wouldn't like that bottle. But I mean,
I just like for me, I think Weir we picked has like that really the wheat whiskey, I should say, is really long finish, complex, very sweet, and this would kind of be like a great, just like a great like not a mirror image, but also like the antithesis of it. It's just It's completely different. It's smoky. It's chocolatey. I don't know.
Overly sweet. It doesn't make you want to drink like a bunch of water afterwards.
Yeah.
Like your tongue's not sticking to the roof of your mouth.
I don't know. Todd, where are you leaning, buddy? I'm curious. Where are you leaning?
I'm kind of, I hate to say it, Scott. You're my buddy ball and all, but that one is I like it. It's different.
I'm now removing Todd from my phone.
Yeah, just got kicked from his Patreon.
Where's that block? Where's that block button?
Todd was Scott's only hope.
I can't even get people I invited on here to be on my side for crying. This is like a normal day of my life. Nobody agrees with me half the time.
I felt your pain a little while ago. You'll survive. I'm sorry.
I will survive. That's for sure.
I'm sorry.
Hey, at the end of the day, I want other people to enjoy something that's different. And if that's what it is and people dig this, then that's awesome. That's
if you drink enough of your wheat whiskey, then you will like this one.
Yeah,
the wheat whiskey first.
I cannot wait to send you all of my bottle number 1.
I cannot wait for you to.
Yes.
And this is a perfect way to say it, Cameron Lochner. It is. It's kind of a yin and yang. You have the really nice, sweet, complex. That wheat whiskey is really sweet. It's got a mega long finish.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you were to transition to this, it is just like campfire chocolate s'mores. And oh man, it's so good. I'm getting like graham cracker in it. I'm in love with the number 1. I'm sorry, Scotty.
That's fine. That's fine.
Can I have your half of the barrel? Like, can you cut the barrel and?
No, me and Scott, unfortunately, we share the whole barrel.
The whole barrel. I'm willing to give up my half.
Yeah, we're gonna pick number 1, and just for Scott, we're gonna call it the smoked ham hock.
That's perfect, yeah.
Yeah,
harsh crab.
That's smoked meat right there.
It tastes more toasted than it's really.
Yeah, it does. It tastes like a toasted. It tastes like a toasted wheater without being toasted.
Right.
Agreed.
I'm gonna go back to 1. I'm gonna punish myself just for you guys.
Just tell yourself it's toasted, not smoked, and you'll like it.
Yeah, get back in here, man. It's toasted. It's a toasted wheater. Telling you.
Nope. Nope.
Kudos to you for trying.
No, I tried. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, the smoked ham hock. Might take it over here.
The smoked hock, that is for sure. So, yeah, Sugar Kitty, exactly. Blink twice. I'm gonna blink more than twice. I'll tell you that.
All right, so let's just do a show of hands here real quick. Any hands for number 3? Well, that's not really fair because Dan and Julie didn't have number 3, but number 3 had a nice finish, but it was very similar to number 2. Raise your hand for number 2. Raise your hand for number 1.
I'm sorry, Scott. I feel so.
Look at Greg. Look at Greg's on my side. He didn't even raise his hand.
I'm not voting.
Scotty, raise your hand for number 3.
Hey, I'm happy that you guys like it. That's all I care about.
Well, hey, Scotty. We still got a freaking ridiculously good wheat whiskey out of this. So
yeah, that's true.
But I'm telling you, if anyone out there gets both of these bottles, the yin and yang aspect of it, the difference, the kind of like the smoke and the light of it, it's awesome. I think it's a really great. It's a good change up between the two of them. You could kind of go back and forth from sweet to smoke. I think this will be great. So yeah, the sweet paisan and the smoked ham hock.
Can it really be a mash and journey pick though? If
sure,
you didn't pick it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why we get you guys involved. You're part of the whole thing. It's not just the two of us.
Yeah, listen, we've Scott and I have done picks where we've been outvoted, depending on what people like. And sometimes you do want something a little bit different. And while 2 or 3 are very good, I think one is in that camp where it's not only different, like sometimes different and unique is bad. Like Scott, like when we went to
like Scott.
no,
Yeah.
no, like Scott, like
Hey, you guys all have a good rest of your night. Enjoy the mash and journey. So
like Scott, when Scott and I went to Luxco, when we were tasting through some barrels, there was an Ezra that literally tasted like it had the smoke campfire to it, but it also tasted like dirt and shit.
yeah.
And like, okay, that was unique, but that was bad unique.
Yeah. It was like old rotten mushroom. It was nasty.
Yeah, I think Scott, didn't you describe it as like mushroom soup?
It was nasty. It was not good.
So
Greg, nobody said that about any of these tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are bad. I mean, it's just like one for me is I struggle with that. I always have. But
Yeah, you're with smoke like Julie is with licorice. Like I actually like a little bit of the black.
yeah.
Licorice. No, it doesn't bother me, but she hates it. You're that way with smoke.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, two and three to me are they're very just like standard weeded bourbon flavor profiles. I think 3 has a little bit of the longer finish, which is good. But I feel like if we pick that, it wouldn't be like there's nothing unique enough about it. And while one may not be Scotch jam,
Yeah.
I feel like that like chocolatiness to it and the little bit of like almost it's like a smoked weeder to me. I think it's really unique, but also delicious. So
I can totally see that. I can totally see why somebody who likes that would really like that. I mean, I can totally see that.
yeah. All right, so it looks like barrel 1219 we're gonna take for something super unique and something.
Can we hear what Greg wrote down about it?
So Greg, take us back to 953, which was the wheat whiskey. You said, what did you say? That was developed and had integrity, correct?
Yeah, I think it, compared to the other two, I considered it just to have overall better balance across the board relative to the congener profile. And I just thought it had a nice integrity about it. I know those are kind of vague terms, but I don't know. It was just, it was rich. It was nice.
It had a richness and a texture to it.
Yeah.
What did you say about number 2?
All right. So between the weeded bourbons, what did you think of these 3?
Well, 1, 2, 3, 7. I wrote down less harsh and smooth. So I think I agreed somewhat with what you folks were seeing relative to some of the comments you made.
Yeah.
I actually did not pick up the smoke in any of the samples, but that doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong or whatever. Everybody's palate's like a fingerprint. So, there's no wrong answers. And, one of the things that I stand by is that a lot of reviewers out there that write all these, exotic reviews, I think have a way of trying to pressure the consumer into seeing things the way they see them. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think you need to look at them and view them as you see them because there's no wrong answers.
So did you have any notes for 1219? What were you tasting in 1219?
Well, I thought it had a like you folks, I thought it had a nice long finish.
Yep.
I actually got a little bit of toffee in there for myself. I got a lot of rich vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of floral. So again, if I were gonna choose, I would have chose either 1219 or 1237. I think from my viewpoint, 1237 was smoother on the taste, but I think 1219 had overall probably more benefits, if you will, relative to a broad range of consumers out there.
Yeah. And The toffee is a good call out. Like that's like a smoked toffee note a little bit. It just has this richness to it. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get multiples of this one. Holy shit!
I did, and I was very happy.
So Julie, we don't have to send you your bottles of this because you're just gonna.
No,
get
that's not
bottles.
true. That's not. No. That's not, these will be gone tonight.
You're getting my bottle. You're getting my bottle whether you like it or not. So.
You're giving me your bottle.
You got it. You got it.
All right, guys. So to recap, tonight we have our wheat whiskey pick for the Master Journey Whiskey Club, which is 113.4 proof, about closer to 7 years old. And we're looking, it's barrel 953 for our wheated bourbon pick. We're going to go with 1219, 108.6 proof, closer. I know Greg had mentioned 6 to 7 years old as well. So these are our two picks right here. And these two are so different. They're yin and yang. They're ham and cannoli. And they're coming to you, baby.
Ham and cannoli. Oh, that's good. That's good. Ham and cannoli. What a combo that is, ham and cannoli. That's
I think that's what we're going to call them, man. I think that's the stickers, ham and cannoli.
Oh, Lordy. Christ.
Oh,
Thank you for including us.
What's that?
Appreciate it.
I said thank you for including us.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks to Dan and Julie and Todd for coming on and helping us out.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Thank you.
Oh, Todd's dead to me. So
I know, right? I'm glad I picked up my new Glarus today from Bill.
Yeah.
I'll never get another 12-pack.
I want those bottles back, by the way.
No more spotted cow.
Oh, my other cousin's in the house, Joey Ranieri. If you see his picture there, he is actually a college golf superstar. What's up, Joey?
Hey, Joey.
Joey. So you know, guys, you know when I talk about my cousin Vinny? I'm serious, dude. I have a cousin Vinny, and Joey is so Vinny is my cousin Vinny is Joey's dad. I'm just saying. That's how we roll up in New York.
Cousin Joey.
Shut up, Scott.
Oh, no, Jesus. I think barrel number one's influencing me too much right now.
Because it's so drinkable.
It is, yeah.
Oh my God, this is awesome. Yeah, cousin Joey, and his dad is my cousin Vinny, and so we have a good time.
They're all in sanitation. Let me guess.
You dick.
Sorry.
Yeah, the two Utes, and he has a sister, my other cousin Rachel, who's watching. Those are the two Utes, and then we have Vinny. My uncle Tony is their grandfather.
Oh, Tony, there we go.
So I think our picks right now we're looking at the cannoli and the smoked ham. Oh, I'm loving this, guys. Again, Dan and Julie, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and helping us pick through these samples.
Oh, thank you.
Oh gosh,
Todd Ritter, really appreciate your support as well. Thank you so much. This was a lot.
Thank you.
A lot of fun, and of course,
guys,
guys,
right on the bourbons.
the legend Greg Metze.
Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having me. I really enjoyed it. So.
I hope we didn't, I hope we did these barrels justice for you, Greg.
No issues at all, and let's hope this is a start of a long-term partnership. So we should definitely do some more of this. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
They were all
let us
really good.
let us know about that single malt that you're not working on. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in for this fun barrel pick of Old Elk. Again, if you want to get your chance to get your hands on some of these exclusive barrel picks, become a patron of either the Master and Drum or my Bourbon Journey to join the Master and Journey Whiskey Club so you can get your hands on some of these exclusive picks. If you want the cannoli and the smoked ham, you know what you got to do. So we'll talk to you guys soon. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the great people you share it with. So cheers.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time here on the Master Drum. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Right.